J. You cannot see Control J, but here it is, Control J. Okay, it was here. Control J is connecting. When they are connected, they still are not one mesh. And we will go to sculpt mode, and we will see that we have groups, face sets in this case, and I always want one face set, at least that's what I do. And I will go and face set from visible. And now everything is okay. They still are not one mesh. And we will go. Control R, by the way, in this case, is doing us not a favor, obviously. So Control Z to go back, and then Shift R to go down like 0.04 something. Control R. Now we are talking. Now it's connected. I can smooth a little bit here. And now we have a nice arms. Or hands. We don't have symmetry, by the way, which is bad. So I will turn on symmetry. I will press Q and to do this. We have this bone going like this, and below this bone, which is going here under, we can touch this bone, by the way. It's going from here up to here like this. It's here. It's kind of visible under the surface. So above it are the muscles who are extending the fingers above this. Below it, so below it are the muscles which are folding the fingers, but those muscles who are folding the fingers, they are mostly one big mass. Usually they don't have separation. Even in very muscular people, here you will not see too much of separation. Here on the top, you will see a separation, definitely. But on the bottom, not too much. And the separation, most of the time, will be only in this upper part of the upper arm. Below it, kind of down here, not so much. Because I told you, the muscles are here, and then the tendons are following, and the tendons, they don't tend... The tendons don't tend to have such huge impact on the surface as muscles, of course. So, if we had, instead of the biceps...
Lou, I am, it's been a while since I've done a live stream. I think since May. I've been preoccupied playing video games. I've been playing Spider-Man, trying to refresh my creativity. So everyone's had those times when they have a blank sheet in front of them, they can't seem to draw anything. But recently got into sculpting with Blender, and I seem to be getting that charge back. But so this character here, well, first of all, I am following a tutorial on Udemy, how to make a 3D character in Blender for 3D printing and portfolio. So yes, I am eventually going to try and 3D print this. To show you my reference, let's see, load recent logo scene. Okay. Blender logo open. Okay, so this is the tutorial that I'm following, and these are my references that I was assigned. So just to give you an idea, it's got anatomy, got a projected project. This is what it's eventually going to look like, hopefully. We got the bulldog, You got skulls. You got more arm anatomy, veins, more bulldog references. This is Lobo. I guess it's a finished product for his tutorial. That's pretty nice. Damn, that's nice. Of course, this is the reference I'm going off of. I remember reading Lobo when I was a kid. It's pretty cool. Probably the issue that I remember is when he dies and he goes to heaven and heaven doesn't want him, and so heaven throws him out and throws him in hell, and hell's like, the fuck you doing here? And then hell's like, all right, you're too much trouble, you're going back to Earth. So they reincarnate him onto Earth, but he's a squirrel, and then so on and so on. Shenanigans ensues until he finally gets his body back. But yeah, he's a bounty hunter. But yeah, this is what I'm building, and to the tutorial that I'm doing is in Udemy, which I like it. You know, there's some things that the instructor could improve on, but for the most part, he's easy to follow, and he gives good instructions. Well, hope you don't mind him talking over as I follow his lead. So, yep, this is what I'm doing. Eventually, I want to 3D print this thing, so. Yep. Put this somewhere to the side so I can have that reference up at all times. Alright, so let's get on this thing. This is probably my third tutorial on Blender sculpting, and I've started out making a little squeaky toy. That was my first one, and this is what I've progressed to. So I'm still sketchy on the keys, the hot keys, and where everything is located on Blender. I was trained on Autodesk Maya, so I'm more familiar with Maya than Blender. But of course, Autodesk, they have Mudbox, but Mudbox hasn't been keeping up to date on sculpting. So I wish Autodesk did keep up to date on sculpting, so that way I'd stick to one software tool rather than jumping around to ZBrush and Blender and then Autodesk, because I tried learning ZBrush, but the learning curve on that software to me is just too much, because I only have so much time to learn other software, and Blender is definitely a lot easier than ZBrush. ZBrush has a lot more. You can do a lot more stuff with it, but with Blender, I believe they've kind of hit that middle between difficulty and kind of transitioning into a new software. So, but other than that, I still stick to Autodesk for retopologizing, texturing, and all that stuff. But I'm learning Blender so I can do sculpts like these for 3D printing. And of course, Blender, it's not bad that it's free. You can just, as long as you have a pretty nice PC or laptop or whatever system you have that has a good processor and a good graphics card, you can pretty much run this to as many polys as you want. So, but let's get on this train here.
Tendon, it will not be as visible as the biceps itself. See, I'm making something like an angle here. Here, something like angle, which is great. The The brachialis is going like this, it can be visible here. This is going here, okay, and it's starting to look relatively fine. Although I'm still not very happy. So for this one, Q symmetrize. Amazing. We have both hands, and now I will connect the hands and the arms. I mean the fingers and the arms. How? I go to object mode, select one, shift select the other, and then Control J. You cannot see Control J, but here it is, Control J. Okay, it was here. Control J is connecting. When they are connected, they still are not one mesh. And we will go to sculpt mode, and we will see that we have groups, face sets in this case, and I always want one face set, at least that's what I do, and I will go and face set from visible. And now everything is okay. Control R. I will do this. Control R, by the way, in this case is doing us not a favor, obviously. So Control Z to go back, and then Shift R to go down like 0.04 something. Control R. Now we are talking. Now it's connected. I can smooth a little bit here, and now we have a nice arms. Or hands. We don't have symmetry, by the way, which is bad, so I will turn on symmetry. I will press Q and symmetrize, so the other arm is the same, and continue.
Okay, so obviously he's going at his regular speed. I gotta, of course, pause and catch up to him majority of the time. But during that pause, I'll try and keep you guys entertained. What he did was retopologize his mesh because he wants to add his fingers to the arms. Obviously, as you can see, there's not much topology on the fingers yet, whereas the arms, you've got a more detailed topology. When I say topology, that means the amount of faces to make out the smoothness of the model. So what he did was he hit R, and I think I'll do that. Make sure it's on the fingers, and then Control R, and it looks like. Now, I gotta go back and find out what he did because I kind of fucked up somewhere. Excuse me.
At least that's what I do. And I will go and face it from visible. And now everything is okay. Control R. I will do this. Control R, by the way, in this case is doing us not a favor, obviously. So Control Z to go back, and then Shift R to go down like 0.04 something. Control R. Now we are talking. Now.
Okay, so. Like I said, I'm still learning the hotkeys, so bear with me. So doing R. He did 0.4, so that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to do Control R. Still needing some. I think I need to go further. Probably did 2. Let's do 1 for now. Control R. Okay, I'm still getting some issues, so that's what Control Z is for. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to separate I'm going to go to object mode, and then I'm going to hit the these by itself, and as you can see, I need to soften these up, so do sculpting mode again, and then sculpt mode. Alright. Make sure the X is on. Okay, see, whatever changes I make, it's going to make over here, so that's why I hit the, what is this called? The mirror mode, I guess. And I'm going to separate these so they're not as close to the other fingers. And all I'm doing is smoothing them. So when it comes time for me to make sure. That seems good. Go back to. Alright, let's try this again. So R is going to be. Get rid of my reference for a second. R is I'll do 2. How about that? Alright, see, it's smoothed out. So what I'm seeing, go to tab, object mode, let's say this is 20. So looks like he combined his, so duplicate, rename, snap, parent. If I remember right, he just hit Control J or J. Let me try that. Control J. Alright, I did it. Fingers are now attached to the arms. So sculpt mode. Alright, let's try this here. Okay, so I'm gonna do, he did a symmetry, so let's see if I did this correctly. So wait a minute. I believe it did it. Let me go to sculpt mode here so I get rid of the timeline. Alright. Had to undust my anatomy book to get somewhat of a good skeletal structure, muscle structure into my model here. There you go. Alright, let's see what he's doing now.
Oh, it's connected. I can smooth a little bit here. And now we have a nice arms or hands. We don't have symmetry, by the way, which is bad. So I will turn on symmetry. I will press Q and symmetrize. So the other arm is the same, and continue working on.
Okay, he did something that I didn't do. Obviously, he combined the models, but they're not Boolean, so. Okay, so right now they're still separated. So what I have to do is hit tab, push here, smooth, mirror, separate, dissolve, split. None of those will work. Dot object. Join. I don't want to join them because it's just going to be joining the meshes separately. I want them to become one object. So rigid body. I want a parent. Transform. Move bend here, align, rotation. Maybe it's a modifier I need to do. Okay, Boolean. So I'm gonna grab this and add a modifier, Boolean. I'm gonna do union, and I'm gonna choose arms. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that did, but it's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so let me try picking this one. Okay. Add a modifier. Boolean. Union. Fingers. And the heck. I'm missing something here. Surface. Okay, so object, clear, rotation, location, See, if I was dealing with Autodesk Maya, I would reset the model, probably clear history. But with Blender, it's a different beast. I appreciate it. Paste, parent. See, this doesn't have any modifiers. That doesn't have any modifiers. Let me go into scope mode and see if that'll clear it up. So, modifier, Boolean, union. Why does it do that? Let me apply that. What I'm going to do is do a symmetrize from plus to minus. Alright. So let's see if that works. Okay. Alright, we got it working. So what I did was, for some odd reason, I don't know why, because, you know, I don't know Blender that well. I had to, something was not clicking when I booleaned the fingers to the arms. And so I booleaned it to do a union, and then one of the arm topologies would disappear. And then I decided that's not a total loss because I still have one side that's you know, a complete arm. So I went down to sculpting mode, went to the X, Y, and Z options, and I symmetrized it so this side will mirror on this side. And it seems that still, what the heck? Alright, hold on 1 second. What the hell? Okay, it just left a copy for the arm. Okay, alright, so I don't need these fingers anymore, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete it, get it out of the way, because I don't need distractions. And that's the camera, no lights. Let me just go ahead and do this too. Let me do that. The lighting's a bit weird. Alright, so I'm going to start smoothing this out. So it should be smoothing on the other side too. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So one of the things that you know, doing graphics for the amount of years is having to troubleshoot a lot of these brand new programs that are coming out. It's like almost every other month there seems to be like Adobe's bringing out these new programs, Substance Painter, and it's a constant learning curve trying to keep up with. And now you got AI coming out. Shit, that shit's fucking annoying. Didn't really agree with it at first, but is growing on me. Save often. So let me just double check to make sure this side is blended with the arm as well. And of course, you know, you can look at your own hand and go by that too. Let's go down. Got my grab brush. Okay, save often. Right, let's go
Our
back.
model. So, we are already around 5 hours into this model, and we still don't have.
Okay, he said he's been doing this for 5 hours from start to finish. He started with the head, and right now from the head to this point, it's been 5 hours for him. For me, I've had to pause and go back, you know, several different times, and this is probably week 2. So, you know, a lot of restarting and, you know, going back, Control Z's, so big difference.
Too much going on. I mean, for me it's 5 hours. For you, should be way more in order to make it look relatively good. Because, you know, spending more time, most of the time, is giving us better results. And in the beginning, you should spend more time so you can learn, and spend less time when you are kind of more experienced artist. So yeah. So we have the ass here, as you can see. You can always, as I said, follow my lead, make some, you know, make some screenshots and stuff, and it will be cool. So, as I see it, he's looking relatively fine. Let's see it with shadow on. Yes, relatively, it's looking like the concept. Make some screenshots and stuff, and it will be cool. So, as I see it, he's looking relatively fine. Let's see it with shadow on. Yes.
Okay, so he went here and turned on shadow here. Alright. all the hotkeys that I'm pushing is on my number pad. This is when you hit that, that's a hotkey to 1. 3 is a hotkey to the side profile. 7 is the top. And of course, if you want to go to flip it to the other side, you just hit 9 for the opposite face, opposite side of the camera. So if I hit the top here and I want to see the bottom, just hit 9 again. If I want to see the back side, I just hit 9 for the 1. And then of course for the side, if I want to see the other side, I just hit the 9 again and it goes to the other side. So that's just how that works. Which I have to say, I like that about Blender. Of course, you can do that to Maya too, but you have to program it yourself. It's not pre-programmed like that. But you know, it does make operating a lot better. I'm gonna turn off the shadow because it's annoying. All right, let's continue.
Relatively, it's looking like the concept. Okay, let's remove the shadow. The shadow, by the way, if I'm rotating while using the shadow, maybe it will impact my performance. Even with my video card, which is 228. It's not a huge or the most modern video card, but it's a nice one. On my laptop, I also work sometimes in Blender, and it's 2070 laptop edition, so it's even kind of slower than real 2070, but it's kind of fine. I have to probably, when I finish this, when I finish the whole model, I maybe will make a screenshot from the side view, from the front view, from the back view, from everything, and just put it in the project files if I remember to do it, because now it comes to my mind that I should do it. This will help you achieve a good result, because you will be able to have better, better things to look from. Which is great, by the way, and it's okay. Of course, for people who are more experienced, I will suggest to look only on their references and on the concept itself, because otherwise it will be too easy. It's never gonna be too easy, by the way, because you have to be able to sculpt, and there are some issues with the sculpting and with the smoothing. It's not. I mean, sculpting in ZBrush is a little bit better, I admit, but it's not as free, I admit again. Yeah, free is better. And I always say that Blender is free. It's good enough for sculpting. As you can see, I have some courses about Blender. I have the whole character created in my YouTube channel in Blender. With the low poly and everything for a game, for a real game. It will be inside a game of Gameloft, and so Blender is the best in this case because it's free. But it requires a little bit better video card, especially in the high resolutions of some meshes. So if you have a very low level laptop with not much RAM and video card and everything, I suggest you get ZBrush somehow. It will be better for you. But the sculpting techniques, they are kind of similar. I mean, yeah, I comes from ZBrush, so now let's do the nails with the Draw Sharp brush. I will just go and do some little nails. So I will just push here with control. Just push. Okay. I'm not sure about this tablet though. I feel like something is a little bit wrong with my sculpting. You cannot feel it. It's just my my sense. You know, it's a little bit interesting what's happening. Maybe there is something which is close to my tablet, which is making it a bit. I don't know. But it's fine. It doesn't matter for you. It's just my experience. So, about my tablet, I already told you, it's the cheapest Wacom tablet. which back in the days was bamboo. Before bamboo, it was Vulito. Now it's called 1 by Wacom. And not Wacom 1, I already told you that. Wacom 1 is a display tablet, also entry level, but a display tablet is much more expensive. 1 by Wacom is non-display, just normal graphic tablet, and it's pretty cheap. Of course, there are other options. Nowadays you can buy Huion, you can buy even Gaomon, but I don't recommend Gaomon exactly. There are other options you can buy, and they are pretty good. Also, and they are also cheap. But
see, once he started talking about doing the fingernails, and I've been messing around with mine. He's already done with all 5 of his fingers. So, and like right now, I had to pause him just to catch up. So, he I think he initially started this particular artist started out on ZBrush, and he stopped using ZBrush because I bought ZBrush when I started watching his videos, wanting to learn ZBrush from him, and then he switched over to Blender, which I didn't understand at the time. I was like, man, bought ZBrush and isn't cheap, and he switched over to Blender. I'm like, what the hell, man? And come to find out, ZBrush is a big learning curve, at least for me, and I just don't have time, And yeah, so I followed his lead, downloaded Blender since it was free, and I just started learning. I think the other thing that I kind of got away from ZBrush too, because I got 2 programs. See, I got ZBrush right there, 22207, and it's just sitting there. One of the things that kind of got me mad at ZBrush is they sold themselves to Maxon, and Maxon decided to stop. To start doing prescription-based program, which before Maxon bought ZBrush, they were strictly you buy the program, and then after you initially buy the program, even though all the updates you can update, you didn't have to purchase another update. Whenever ZBrush updated, you got it automatically, and that was their base model since the get-go. I couldn't afford ZBrush for the longest time, and then I was able to finally afford it, and then they sold to Maxon and started going on prescription base, where now I think I've been keeping up with ZBrush, but for the most part Maxon hasn't started charging prior owners of ZBrush that were under the other base permanent license model, but it's going to be pretty soon we're going to be charging for updates. So that kind of got me mad. That's why ZBrush is just sitting there on my desktop. That looks like a fingernail, right? Kind of.
Since Wacom is the brand that I have used for a longer, and they were the first, the very quality brand. Even Samsung are using Wacom technology with their pen in their tablets and their
So he pronounces it Wacom, which, you know, he's the only person that I know that pronounces Wacom the way he pronounces Wacom. So I'm not sure what the proper way to phrase it, but I've from my instructors and to my coworkers, we've always pronounced it Wacom. So it's probably just
their Galaxy Note series that was back in the days. And I always buy Galaxy Note. Nowadays I will have to buy Galaxy S something Ultra, but it's okay for me since it has a pen. I like to have a pen to just, I don't know, I like it. Whatever, you see, I'm talking about some stuff and I'm doing other stuff. Some people don't like that. They say, but you're doing stuff without saying, yeah, everybody is doing that. It's just kind of adjusting some things, and it's not as...
See, I don't mind that, you know, keep the student occupied, you know, either he's listening or you know, listening and doing what he needs to do. I don't mind that. That's preference of the teacher, I guess. I don't mind it. Just keep talking while I catch up, man. You know, because when you start getting into that conversation mode, when you're teaching, you know, it gives your students some chance to catch up.
It's important, and you can kind of, if you watch what I'm doing on the screen, you will be able to tell what's happening. If you're not watching, you will not be able to tell, of course. I'm just making sure this muscles are looking like they're coming from one kind of a point, because they are coming from one point, and this point is hidden below here, below this. Let's call this muscle brachioradialis, for example. It's not exactly, I mean, it's brachioradialis, but not quite. I mean, it is, but it's not. Because one of the muscles is brachioradialis, the other one I'm not sure exactly who it is, and there are two muscles which are coming absolutely together. You cannot kind of separate them as much, although they have to be separated in the middle, but in the real world there is no real separation between them, but whatever. I mean, you see, the brachioradialis muscle is this one here, those muscles are coming from here. It's everything is as you saw in the muscular guy in the pictures and in the anatomy pictures of the arm also, and in the things that I've drawn also, because the anatomy is the same, you know, for all people. Maybe some people just have it more bigger and more pumped with what? With steroids, of course. They're using steroids. Maybe someday I will use steroids and growth hormone and everything, but I have to grow older and to not care about the life anymore.
Yeah, that's steroids are bad. That's my opinion. Steroids are bad. Well, not all steroids. If you know, medical wise, you know, when the doctor prescribes you steroids to fight an illness, or if you have other issues that require steroids. But as far as stuff to do with vanity and, you know, the way you look, you know, that's your choice. Technically, I don't give a shit, but you know, let's leave it at that.
Because when you're young, don't waste your life with this stuff. It's very, very bad. So here we can make some stuff. By the way, what I don't like about the shoulders is that his shoulders that he made, it's like they have these lines from... I cannot do it. What's happening? These lines from up to down, like this. It's not very good. I mean, you have to have some lines here, then some lines in the bottom. There are some kind of muscle fiber, you know, like this. The others are coming to meet them in between them, because I told you they are like fingers interlocked together. And then we can smooth this out a bit, and still doesn't look quite well, but we will get there most likely. Yeah, something like this. And we have to check out our guy. This, no. Here. It's not very visible. Not in here. Maybe here we have some separation between the fibers and stuff, but it's not as easy to see. Of course, we just don't have the right references in this case. So if you have the right reference, it most likely will work. But I have problems with my Wacom driver, I'm almost sure of it. Because I cannot do a straight line with my tablet as I sometimes can. Maybe it's too much eaten by... Although my pen is here, the front is a little bit too eaten already. But who knows? Okay, I'm not sure about how big those shoulders should be. But now, 40 minutes into this video, we probably should end it and continue in the next one. But we'll see. Let's make the biceps a bit shorter, but still huge. Yes. And let's make the overall arms a bit shorter with just moving them up with a very big grab brush from a big distance. Otherwise, if you are going from small distance, you will move just part of it and it will be bad. So yeah. When we make the separation between the muscles a little bit better than when we make his veins, it will be much better. With the veins especially, he will suddenly become pretty cool looking. Now he's not very bad looking either, but it's yeah. So for the feet we have to wait for the next video or the video after that. We will see. I have no particular plan on which part I will work, because when I'm working on such model in real time, I mean in the real life, it's the same. I'm jumping from this to this to this to this, and I'm working here, working there, just not to get too much invested in just one part, because when you are going too much in one part, then the other parts will be left behind. And I want everything to come together as a team, you know. We need to have this team play. Yeah, he's kind of looking like the concept, we may say. We may work a little bit more on the face, I think. But we'll see. He's okay. Okay, see you in the next video, of course. The other parts will be left behind. And I want everything to come together as a team, you know. We need to have this team play. Yeah, he's kind of looking like the concept, we may say. We may work a little bit more on the face, I think. But we'll see. He's okay. Okay, see you in the next video, of course. Yeah, like as always. So, we
Alright, that's it for now. I might I'm gonna continue doing a tutorial, and I'll probably won't record live stream that part, you know. I'll just continue. So you might see it. Yeah, you're definitely going to see this model more progressed. I can't wait to start doing the clothes, the skulls. So if you take a look at my reference here, you know, you got his jacket, his muscle shirt. You got the chains. That's going to be interesting. See how he does that. And he's got his hook. He's holding that. Of course, you got the skulls of Wonder Woman, Batman, and the Flash. You got his grenades, and then you got to create the pants, and then his guards and his boots, and of course his bulldog. It's a cute bulldog. All right, later. Go